It really...
Talented Josh Allen, poor Deshaun Watson.
And he just carries that franchise every single year. So the Dolphins have the 3rd pick in the draft, thanks to Laramie Tunsil in a trade with the Texans. And there has been talk that they could take another top quarterback prospect despite drafting Tua last year. But Dolphins GM Chris Grier would not discuss the team's overall draft strategy.
Right.
He did stand behind Tua moving forward. He said, Tua, I'm very happy with. He's our starting quarterback.
Okay.
Now, offensive coordinator Chan Gailey resigned after 1 season in Miami. There was a report earlier this week that was then retracted that he was fired. That was not true, but he has now resigned, so he's no longer there.
All right.
I don't know. I got to be very honest with you. I don't feel good. I don't feel great. And here's why. I've been watching the Dolphins my entire life.
Yeah.
And we've gone a very long time without a franchise quarterback. I understand he's only played 9 games. I understand he's a rookie.
Yes.
But things move quickly, and Justin Herbert is great. Broke a rookie record for touchdowns this year. I don't want to hear about how many more pieces he has around him. Everyone keeps saying that, look at the pieces Justin Herbert has around him. Are the Chargers in the playoffs? How many weeks have they been out of the playoff run? They just let their head coach go. Is that the situation in Miami? It's not. So to your point about Baker and your opening rant today, I don't want a situation where everything has to be perfect. Everything is not always going to be. In fact, you can count on one thing. Everything is not going to be perfect for an entire season in the NFL.
Ever.
You can count on that. Ever.
Brady had a near perfect when he had Randy Moss, Welker, good O-line, solid defense, good kicking. Brady had won a year and a half of his career, never won a Super Bowl in these years, when it was literally like, oh, God, he's got everything. The deep threat, the slot guy, the running back. Like, that is so... Even Kansas City right now, Mitchell Schwartz is hurting. Their running backs are beat up. That's the way it works in the league.
You can count on it.
Yes.
And even if there were some examples of it, why are you going to rely on the outlier? Let's focus on what generally happens, and it's that. I don't want a game manager, and I'm not saying that Tua is that, but I am panicking, and I don't think that is unreasonable.
No.
You wanted to see, you saw it immediately with Joe Burrow, you saw it immediately with Justin Herbert.
And we're not talking wins. So if you go back to Josh Allen's rookie year, if you look at the stats, they're not good. We went back and looked this morning at his 13-minute rookie highlight reel. It was cartoonish how much bigger and stronger he was. He was throwing the ball all over the yard. Patrick Mahomes, he wasn't great his first start in the NFL. Lamar Jackson, year 1, week 11, he starts. There were arguments he couldn't throw. But you saw by the second series, you're like, oh, Lord, he's the world's...
Yeah, we'll figure out the throwing
He's
thing.
a deer in a helmet. Like, literally, he's faster than everybody. I want to see just this word. Whoa.
Right.
Just want a little whoa. That's all I want. I saw it with Burrow, Herbert, Josh, Mahomes.
He's going to be compared to Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert for the rest of his career.
Yes.
So if the Dolphins do decide to stick with him, they better hope they're right, because they're not going to be in a situation where they're picking in the top 3 again with Brian Flores in this defense. It's not going to happen. So I don't feel good about it, but we'll see. Maybe I need to be more patient. Sam Darnold has said he hopes to stay in New York and be a Jet for life. But GM Joe Douglas isn't committing to Darnold just yet and suggested they won't wait to make any decisions until after they hire a new coach.
Look, we've got a lot of decisions to make. You know, I think that Sam's going to be a great quarterback. I think Sam has a very bright future in this league. And so, you know, we're going to get a head coach in here. We're going to get together. We're going to talk about quite a few decisions. And so, no, I'm excited about Sam.
That's the right approach.
Let's say, and I don't think this will happen, but they keep Sam Darnold, they accumulate all these picks, and get a new coach. Midway through the season, Sam's pretty darn good. Next year, they're winning 10 games, and Sam's good enough to get to the playoffs. We'll have to change how we think about quarterbacks. Because, I mean, Sam right now is regressing and a mess. So if they did stay with Sam, got the right coach. I mean, Joe Douglas, I've known Joe for a while. He's really smart. He's going to work as a GM. He had a very good draft last year. They have so many picks now. If they hit on 75%, he's going to have 6 new starters over the next year. It'll be a really interesting case study on, oh my God, this team stuck with this kid who regressed badly and it worked. And here's my takeaway. Will it stop us doing what we're doing with Tua, which is 8 games, and we kind of feel like we're kind of bailing a little?
The difference between Tua, and say someone like Mitchell Trubisky over the past 2 years, and what's happening with Sam Darnold and the Jets is the Jets are in a total rebuild in every phase of the game.
And haven't gotten any of it right.
Right. That's not the Dolphins. That's not Chicago.
That's right.
Dolphins have a great defense. They probably have the defensive player of the year.
Bears got a lot of good players.
Bears have a lot of good players, a lot of talent. And I mean, I feel like the Bears have had a Super Bowl level defense. Like, that's a defense you can win a Super Bowl with
absolutely.
for the past few years. So if you have one side of the ball that's ready to go, that doesn't need a whole lot of tweaking, and you're trying to develop the whole other side of the ball, like there's years that have to line up here, right? Things have to come together in order for you to be successful and win a championship. That's what concerns me. The Jets have to redo everything. So if they stick with Darnold, they still have a few years to get everything together, because we know what a disaster it is there. So this is a nice story. Alabama wide receiver DeVonta Smith won the 2020 Heisman Trophy. He became the third Alabama player to ever win the award and the first wide receiver since Desmond Howard took it home in 1991. Smith beat out 3 quarterbacks in the final voting: Mac Jones, Trevor Lawrence, and Kyle Trask of Florida. He had an incredible season, 105 catches, 1,641 receiving yards,